Ken Zucker himself has said many times in interviews that while he tried his absolute hardest to dissuade gender non-conforming children from being trans during childhood, he and the rest of the clinicians working with them said that if a child managed to reach adolescence, that's 13 years old roughly, and they had managed to resist the barrage of reparative therapy they were getting, then basically Zucker and his crew would throw up their hands and say, okay, fine, put them on the blockers, give them time to think about it, and they would not stand in the way of transition. And again, the gender grits are lying even about Zucker's position. They're suggesting that he's against any kind of transition. And that is a misrepresentation of Ken Zucker. I mean, I disagree with Ken Zucker on a lot of things, but misrepresenting a man is not fair. And that's what they're doing. Let's be quite clear here. Gender crits are basically trans-exclusionary radical feminists. They're TERFs. That's all they are. They want to put an end to the whole thing. They're transphobic in the extreme. And they're associated in this venture by the new gay man activists who basically want to preserve the influx of fresh meat into their community. Then you go back to 2000 and whatever it was, 2001, 2001, when Jim Furat said that transsexuals are crazy queens who will destroy the way that we live our lives as a gay man. He iterated exactly what's going on in the head of people like James Cantor. That if it's allowed to take off, then what will happen is that the situation that obtains here in the Philippines will obtain in the West. And here there are far, far more HSTS than gender-conforming gay males. Far more. It's the absolute inverse of the West. And the reason is the society is tolerant. Now, I've done a lot of talking to people here. I do a lot of interviews. And going back, talking about people, what the situation was like 10, 20, 30 years ago, they'll all tell you the same thing. What's happened is that over that 30-year period, the numbers of transitioned HSTS, they call them Beckies, has gone up because the society is more tolerant. This is a society where gender roles between men and women are clearly defined, but it's also a tolerant one. Now, we already know from studies done in the 1980s that it's possible that a greater definition of male and female roles will actually tend to produce higher levels of HSTS. And what we're seeing now is that the more open the society is, the more tolerant it is of transition, the more HSTS you will see. So in the West, what you're seeing is still a significant differentiation of male and female roles, but a significant amount of increased tolerance. That's all over the place. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. There's going to be more HSTS. And that means less gender-conforming gay men. And that's just tough. Get used to it. It's the way it's going to be. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. But you have to understand, sexuality and gender are absolutely connected. The soggy lie, the lie that they're not related, is one of the most offensive, insulting and damaging lies of the last 50 years. The fact is that gender is the outward expression of sexuality. That's what it is. And if your sexuality is female, and all transgender gay males, that is feminine gay males, have female sexuality, and all transgender lesbians have male sexuality. It's a little bit different for women because there's no penis. But particularly from the MTF point of view, that female sexuality requires a feminine gender to be going with it, and if that's not there, you're going to have gender dysphoria. It's that simple. And anybody who knows large numbers of gays in the West and here, and I do, will tell you they suffer terribly from gender dysphoria all the time. They can't help it. It's part of their lives. It's like this constant pulsating in their heads, this constant background noise, that they would actually rather just put on the dress and get on with life.